we're going off Spider-Verse
Yeah.
and things that it's inspired and opened up. We got the first trailer for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, the animated
Uh-huh.
film.
Uh-huh. So
I'm
I
in love.
tweeted, I tweeted after seeing this, and I was like, all of the good across the Spider-Verse has done,
Mhm.
and shining a light on the creativity you can pull off with an animation.
Mhm.
This could be, you know how you look back at like points in history and you're like, that's where stuff went a bit wrong. And there's also times where you're like, oh, we made the right decision here, and that has definitely
Yeah.
moved us more on the right track. This feels like an opportunity for the world to heal a little bit and embrace art in a more enjoyable way and a less pretentious way.
Yeah. Do you know what this makes me think of? Like with the whole, because Spider, like whatever way you want to look at it, people will try and say, "Well, it's different. It's not the same." Spider Verse has paved the way for this style of animation to come in.
It's proved it can be successful.
Yeah, there is points with like the Pixar style where if you look back through like animation and films, like there is like eras of styles, and what used to happen, which doesn't really happen now because it's just the way it doesn't really work this way now. But studios would put on DVDs little shorts, or they would just put together like a little short animation, which is like 5 minutes long, and often it was to test something, test a new tool, or test like a way of doing something. And there are like some of those where it's like you see that short, and that is the point when, oh, that's when Pixar style started. And like things are, you can see the start points of visual styles. Spider-Verse is the start of what is going to be a visual style of like this comic-y, more hand-drawn animated look, but in a modern sense. And
Yeah.
I'm all in for it because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, like it holds its own style still in that realm, and it looks so cool and fits
It
so well.
I like the as stupid as it sounds, because it's like proper like baby monkey brain, but it's fully like I like the bright objects. I like just these pops of huge amounts of color.
Yeah.
And I understand for a long time of animation, they're like, look how realistic we can make it. So they went for these really normal human tones that aren't as bright.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna draw stuff, have some fucking fun with
Yeah.
it. Give us them loud pops of color. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, with it being in New York, which is seen as quite a dark city, is the perfect place to do it. They are turtles which are quite a dark green in a
Yep.
dark city. They normally operate at night, and they're gonna go fuck it color.
Yeah. And
So
it's like
hyped.
that plus like they've gone for a much rougher, like really hand-drawn feel to it. Like just adds to that.
Uh
And
huh.
honestly, the art style looks great. The vibe from the whole trailer is so entertaining.
I am so glad they haven't jumped straight in with Shredder. And
Yes.
this first film seems to be like a coming of age film.
Yes. It's like
I
them
cannot wait.
figuring out their place and what they're meant to be doing, which is like like definitely I'm so glad they didn't go Shredder because that wouldn't have made any sense. I love that we've got Ice Cube
Hmm.
as this like weird bug fly guy. And it's like it strangely he fits it so well. And like
It
there's
just
some of
seems angry.
and like something from the comedy of like those moments that they were showing, like it just fits. And this idea that we're gonna have like a proper stacked crew of like actors and like different people, and then it's like, but the turtles like are just four young actors that we don't know, but it's like it balances it out. And I have to say, Jackie Chan as Splinter, like the few lines we got,
Oh,
I was
good.
like, yes, this is the perfect casting. Like, why?
Yeah.
What? What more do we need?
And it was a little joke when Leo like admits to what they done. He's like, "Oh, you're such a rat," and Jackie's
Yeah,
like, "No, you don't use that word."
yeah. It's like
So funny.
it's like modern, like even there's modern jokes like that. It's like we don't use that term anymore. And then
So good.
yeah, it's I can already tell like it's gonna be Spider
Instant
Verse.
classic.
Yeah, it's gonna be Spider Verse level of entertainment. I'm just
100%.
so
Um,
hyped.
and I don't care if we both of us have to go see it 100 times each to make sure a sequel gets made. I will do it
Oh,
because there
there, there's
again,
gonna be
this
a
looks
sequel.
like a can't miss film.
No.
The voice acting seems so tight. I love the four more unknown young actors. Really good cast around it. Solid animation
Good
style.
soundtrack.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. Miles
I
Morales continues to do more and more good for the world.
There's a point I will say, there was something I was thinking through watching the trailer. At the end, they end up in like a pizza truck, like a little pizza delivery van. I want them to at some point get the garbage truck and like have the garbage truck as their vehicle, because that's like an iconic thing I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
that
like,
so fucking funny story.
okay.
That I got one of the ones from like the 2000 animated series of their truck
Mm.
for Christmas one year.
Hmm.
To this day, my favorite Christmas present.
Oh damn.
To this day, the only Christmas present I got that I didn't ask for.
Oh
I
damn.
didn't ask for it. I didn't even know it existed. I got
Nailed
given
it.
it, fell in love with it. I kept it for like 10 more years, and it was always used for like all, even when I stopped playing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as much and started using like action figures,
Mm.
like for different characters, that was always their vehicle because I just loved it so fucking awesome.
It's such a cool, and I'm all for them because they're young. They're using like a pizza delivery thing, plays into the pizza thing as well. Makes sense, but it's like as they, if we get a second one and they're more like becoming established, it's like yeah, now they have a garbage truck. They have to eventually do it. It's so good.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because obviously you see in the trailer
Mm.
that they want to be able to interact with the human world.
Mm-hmm.
Then they meet the other mutants, and there's clearly a little bit where they're like, "Oh my god, we're not alone. This is great."
Yeah.
And then they realize the other mutants like want to take over the world, so they're like, "Well, no, let's not do that. Let's
Yeah.
just, be friends."
We can all exist.
But then you get a really cool shot. And it's like, so we're gonna save New York, and then we're gonna be accepted. And you get like that silhouette shot where you see them as like fully grown, like in a more iconic silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh fuck yeah, it's gonna be so good. The characterization of all of them
Mm.
seems really good.
Yes, it
I'd
does.
like to see Ralph turn it up a little bit, like at the right time,
Well, yeah,
because
there's that. There
he
was
seemed just a little bit too composed, but we didn't see any real moments
we,
that got him wound up.
there was a little point in the trailer the way it's like getting a little round, like you've got an anger problem. It's like it's not a problem, but it's like he obviously is gonna. They obviously are gonna showcase it, and I do think it's gonna be one of those things where, like you say, it's a bit of the setup, and they're younger. Obviously, they're gonna like grow into those
Yeah.
characterizations, and I'd love to see like a second one. It's like he's getting a bit more like showing that
Hmm.
anger and a bit more
Hmm.
hot headed.
But it's interesting because I think there is, even though like we vividly think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as like an iconic thing,
Mm.
I think there's an entire generation of probably 13-year-olds who don't really know of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and because I I don't know if you're the same as me, but like your memory is the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
did also see the live action, really funny suit ones
yeah,
because
the jank.
that was more my brother.
Yeah, I remember
So
those janky
I've seen
ass
that.
ones,
Yeah.
but like the cartoon that was on TV, like that's my solid kind of memory of it. Which is
Yeah.
another reason why I love that we're getting this in like an animated style, because it's like an
Hmm.
evolution of that. But there was like the modern films that came out, but then other than
Yeah.
that, there
There was the
hasn't.
one like live action one,
Yeah, that was a bit.
which was really good, I thought.
Yeah,
But
it
they
was.
but it I don't think it hit their goal. So it was profitable and it actually did quite well for what reasonable people
Mm,
expected. But it didn't hit the goal for them to want to do a sequel, just like the Power Rangers reboot.
yeah,
Two
it's
things
like
that I will never get over.
it's like it hit the mark, but it didn't quite like break past just being like a Teenage
Yeah,
Mutant Ninja Turtles
it
film.
wasn't innovative enough to
Yeah,
go out and destroy box offices and make them want to make a
but
second.
you're right.
Hopefully, this one will.
There's a period there where like, because I guarantee that cartoons stopped being on TV, and it's like there's a period of people that don't have any
Yeah.
like association to it. Especially now, like I think about my nephew and stuff, like the stuff they watch. There's no
Oh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's no talk of that. Whereas this film potentially will reinvigorate that whole
could
a
you
new
imagine a
generation.
whole new generation of like 13-year-olds going, I am rewatching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I just get to go,
Well, on a whole new generation of kids being like, I'm Michelangelo, I'm Raphael, and it's like
Oh, I want to hear the debates of who's the coolest again. Oh, but it's interesting because a couple of months ago, do you remember it got leaked that they're working on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game based on the last Ronin story
Yes.
arc from the comics, which
Yes.
is when the other three have died and Michelangelo, which everyone seems to forget, is the only
Hmm.
one who's left. So you go from Mikey, who's obviously really goofy and silly, is now
It's like
like
stoic and
more like Raph and like very kind of, and he's like got all of the weapons in your fucking
yeah.
unit. So apparently there's a game like that still in the world. I'm so down for not Marvel and DC to die off a little bit, but to lose a little bit of a stranglehold,
Yeah, and we
so that
get some of these
Teenage Mutant,
other
yeah, for like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, ideally like your Ben 10s and like them other kind of fringe cartoons that were
yeah.
really popular to just get a boost. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, it really would. It really would.